Keep on. But it seems every now and then in this game you run into obstacles to try to hold a man back from getting his. Yo.
Rick Love, welcome. Rick Love, welcome. Welcome to the nest. Welcome to the chill out zone. It is me, Fervent Heat, today, up in here with you, and right where I want to be. And I know you're right where you want to be as well. And Rick Love, one love to everybody out there, all meltologists out there. Everybody sitting back trying to figure out what the fuck we're talking about. Rick Love to you, and hope you understand and enjoy this melt that we bring you, proving this melted realm, because that's what we do. First and foremost, Melted Red Brick University, please like, share, and subscribe. Tip of the spear, shield of truth is what we are. We've been doing this for a while. Live streaming. Laughing Eagle, throwing up those joints for everybody to enjoy. I hope you did enjoy the Eagle Vision one and all the others. And, to catch the rest of all the fascinating, just paradigm shifting evidence, Laughing Eagle, Spartan Red is brought up here. Please go back to Odyssey backup channel, Spartan or Die. You can find all the archives there. Just meltology at its best from the start to now, and everything in the middle. We've come up here and showed so much for so long, and there's still so much more to show. And that's why we do what we do, is because we bring it, because we believe in what we're talking about, and we know the importance of it, and we know you do too. So welcome everybody out there. Again, I'm Fervent Heat, bringing you this joint this morning, and looking forward to a good stream. Laughing Eagle might be in. He's dealing with some stuff that he needs to take care of, and when he finds time, he might come in, hopefully. But Rick Love, one love to you, brother, and thank you for everything that you've done. And I just love this. This is what I do, other than work, my job, of course. But this is what I do. This is where my heart is. This is where my passion is, and that's why I go by the name I do. Is because the passion in me, the fervent heat in my heart, to bring this information out, and to get the fervent heat in your heart to recognize this and start spreading this message, because it needs to get out here, and we do it the way we do. So call a meltologist out there, however you're bringing it. Rick Love to you. It's about spreading the message, however you're going to do it. We kind of find our own way of doing it. We're a little unorthodox, a little retro, if you will. We're old school up in here, man. And that's why, I come in this way, because I keep it raw and real. I keep it me. I keep it Dean. That's me. And I won't deviate from that, man. Because that way you get the honest, the true way I feel about shit. And just trying to wake people up to this. I've been around for a while, and saw things progress over the decades and decades and decades and decades up to now. And, the shit just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And I love exposing it. I love exposing it. And, and I bring it understanding that there's going to be a lot of backlash on it. A lot of people getting a little bent out of joint, if you will, with the information, the way I bring it. But you know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm going to bring it raw and real and hard and fast. And if that upsets you, that's your choice. And once you get done being upset, now we start focusing on the evidence that you're not seeing. So it's about the human condition. And Laughing Eagle has put this out so many times before in the memes, in the way we approach meltology. It's about the human condition, and that's what we're trying to break through. For these people that don't understand it and just can't see the fucking obvious, okay, we're trying to break through their human condition. We're all adults up in here, and you can look at things a little different. That's cool. That's human nature. But it's about the evidence, and it's always been about the evidence. It's not about ego. It's about the evidence. And there is no ego here, and there's no feelings to hurt. Those are long gone. I shed those a long time ago. And it helped me get over my cognitive dissonance, my indoctrination that I went through. Because I'm just like you. I once believed a lot of shit that had me lost for a long time. And I really started opening my eyes and seeing this reality for what it is because of meltology, because of Spartan Red's work. And it's the truth, and it is the truth because it's evidence melted right in front of us. And that's our aim, that's our goal, that's our focus, is meltology, and getting people to see it in our way. We bring it to you a little bit different, a way lot different, really, than all the others out there. And I'm not knocking anybody. Everybody's got their flow. We got ours. And this is what we do. And we try to break it up. We try to keep it interesting. We want you to come back for more because, it's important. We're not a picture show. We're messengers in meltology, really. We're wanting to educate people, get people to understand what the hell's going on here. And it's more than just meltology, as we know. We know that this realm has been hijacked by different factions and, creating the illusions of this place we're walking around on, all the bread and circus out there for us to enjoy is to distract us and keep us stupid and dumbed down from understanding the truth. And that's meltology, understanding this madness that they have us in right now. And, all things will pass, and time will always bring out the truth in people and in narratives, because that's what I like to do, break through the narrative fog that they got people in, because that's why people can't understand the meltology, is because they're wrapped up in their own dogmas, if you will. And once you break those dogmas, once you understand, then you really start understanding and seeing this for what it is, this melted circuit board we're on. And Brick Love on Love once again. And welcome everybody. Janie Yost, interesting pictures indeed. That's Laughing Eagle right there. All those intros, all that's Laughing Eagle, man. And I'll tell you what, this cat's been doing it for a while, and he's gone beyond having the eyes. He's got the understanding and everything else wrapped up into meltology, and he brings it through in the artistic form that he does. And that's what's brilliant about it. That's why I'm here. It's because the way he brings it and the way we bring it, a little bit unorthodox. And I love it. I love it. So welcome again, me, Fervent Heat, up here in the nest. Eagle Eye Crew, I love you. I do. I love you. So without any further ado, I'm going to get into some evidence because I've got only a short time. I got to go to work here in a few hours. So, I'm going to get up in here and present my evidence the way I do it. And, I like to mix it up a little bit. And I did that for you today. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little background music going. Just give me a second here. Get a little flow, a little ear candy, if you will, for Fervent Heat to bounce through his evidence. Give me just a second. Get the right thing going on up in here. So Brick Love, and I keep saying, spread this word. The best way to spread this word that I found is, you try to break it down to people and show them this and that, in a short time, people's eyes will glaze over and you'll lose them. So the best way I think to get Meltology across to people is to invite them over. People used to do that before this age of internet. You'd go over to other people's houses, turn on the movie, turn on whatever you're going to do, and entertain and sit down. And I suggest that you do that with Meltology. Bring somebody in, set them down with you, and watch the stream. And that way we can break down the melt, bring up the evidence, and they can get a better understanding, of what we're about, what Meltology is about. And I'm going to see, which one do I want to do here? Let's do a little night driving today. That's what we'll do. Let me bring up some background music here. Don't want it to go too loud. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and click into some evidence here and get this party started. Spark this joint and hit it. Sharing screen here.
Love you all. Be back soon.
Brother, love you, dude. Good morning.
Yeah, just jumping in real quick as it's quiet. I'm sorry, people, I can't be in today, but tune in tomorrow. We have a very beefy, long show tomorrow. Love you all. Dino, love you, mate.
Brick love, brother. One love to you and yours. All right, my infinity's up, and here we go. And I'm going to make sure I got all my I's dotted and T's crossed this morning and bump this large screen for you when I go through my evidence. Get it on up in here first. There we go. Just a second. And I hope that's large screen there. Here we go. All right. Yeah, man. Older pick. And what the hell are we looking at here? Well, this is an old pick. This is the first, one of the first pictures way back in the day, before sound was on tech to people to listen to. This is all silent film stuff. And this is a very famous shot here. And this is the beginning of heliocentrism, as far as putting it in front of people on a screen for them to look at. And, I get into this kind of stuff right here because it's very important, because this shows the evolution of the indoctrination, if you will. And what we're looking at here is an old shot of a movie that was made a long time ago. And, they're talking about trips to the moon. And this is before NASA. This predates all this science, sci-fi kind of genre, if you will. And this is the controllers, the motherfuckers, I like to say, bringing you their information and getting inside your head and indoctrinating you. And this is from a famous movie, Trip to the Moon or whatever it was. And, you know, again, this predates rocket science. This predates all of that shit. And but they're showing you know, their supposed rocket hitting the man in the moon, you know. And I know it's an old pick and all of that, but just showing you it's all about the melt. It's all about the melt. And, you know, they've captured people's minds with false narratives, false realities. And, you know, we break that. At least we try to break that in people and getting them to understand what they're looking at when you get into meltology. And, you know, older pick again. And I like to touch on these because it proves a point. You know, all the stuff that we're seeing, all the stuff that we're dealing with, you know, meltology touches on all of it. And, you know, we touch on heliocentrism and the way that they've cast their spells, if you will, into the eyes of the masses. And when they do this, they tell us a lot. They tell us a lot. And this, again, is an older pick. And you know what they're telling us is they're pushing their heliocentric model. You know, they're bringing in their imagery, because that's the biggest indoctrination device ever created, is the television, the picture form. And we see these people up here in their little garb and all this, and you know, this is symbology, you know, and this is what we understand about meltology. It's about inversion. It's about making you think a guy is a woman and a woman is a guy. Okay, it's about the inversion. It's about the twisted perception that they have, that they want us to be. And they put up some pretty freaky shit, you know. You know, I scan into this, and you know, I ask, what's this all about? What are they trying to say here? You know, whatever they're trying to say, you know, it's based on the melt. And you know, I like to click through these kind of things here, and give you a little visual of their work to show you why we do what we do. They're putting up their little pictures, their little screenshots, and they're throwing meltology right in your face at the same time, as we see here. Structure cooked out. Expansion. Obvious melt. And this is how they hide it, right in plain sight. And they've been doing it ever since the old days. And we see it so much in movies throughout the decades and decades and decades. They've had meltology right in our faces, and we've never seen it. Because that's the best place to hide something, is right under somebody's nose. And they're pushing their heliocentric model with their planets. And this is before NASA. This is before the world wars, if you will. You know, this is way back when they were doing silent films and stuff. And they're bringing you deception. We're bringing you reality. And we're showing you in vivid detail what we're talking about. And that's what separates us. You know, we back it up with the explanation and the breakdown of meltology. We're trying to expand the people's vision of what you're really looking at, because we've all seen this before, this kind of scape, this kind of topography. And, you know, most people gloss over it because they really don't understand that buildings can be melted, that brick can actually expand and change its state of matter to the point where the structures themselves become really unrecognizable from what they really are. And they've taken this and they've, created a new language called geology to cover up, to explain their false narrative in their way. And they're so powerful that they've even introduced it into our school system, our indoctrination classes, and teaching lies to everybody still. And we're showing meltology, and what I'm showing you here, if you're new up in here, I'll break it down. If you're a salty eagle-eye crew, you see what you're looking at, you know what you're looking at, but I'll break it down for you real quick because I'm going to flow. Obvious structure. We're looking out of an aperture right here. Foreground picture. We got a big rock curtain up here. We can see compression. We can see structure. We can see texture. We can prove what we're saying, that these are melted structures and these are brick lines. This is expansion off of this wall right here, creating this background. Huge structure right here. And we can point out the apertures. We can point out the expansion. I'll show you right here. This is structure. We got a column here. We got a column here. We got it filled out. We got expanded right here. This is architecture. What we're looking at is the shell of this building, what's left of it. And we can see the layering in here and how it settled down and down and down on itself, creating this effect. Apertures, 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 apertures being doorways, arches, windows, things like that were lost in the melt. And we can see the huge blocking going on. We can see the color differentials going on. They want to tell you this is erosion. This is sedimentary layers. This is geology. Well, that's just ridiculous because I see melted structure. Their narrative doesn't hold water, if you will. And and we trying to get across to people that this whole melted realm is structure. That continents are actually melted buildings. We're walking on melt. We're walking on old world melt. And we see it again back in here. Obvious structure. Obvious structure to the whole thing. And then, before the X Factor, these things were in pristine condition, however they appeared. And this is post X Factor. We're showing you the expansion, the cooked out building, the disintegration, the flow of the melt coming down onto itself. Leaving a melt flow, a melted structure out here. And we can see it still in the lines, in the expansion, in the apertures, in the doorways of the obvious structures blending into the melt. Because that's exactly what all this is. This is melt flow. This is melted buildings sinking down and flowing out. This isn't mud flood. And I really want to get it through to all meltologists out there, all flat earthers out there, and all you platform providers that have been pushing this mud flood narrative. Okay. When you bring in meltology, you bring in the evidence. You need to back it with fact. And I'm doing that. And I'm showing you that this is not a mud flood. Mud is brick ash with water added. Got it? They want to say some mud flood came in and just buried everything. Well, where did the mud come from? Mud does not melt brick. I'll bump through because there's some to get through here, crew. Because I can go on and on just on one pick. Obvious melted structures. Okay? Obvious melted structures. Again, they're wanting to tell you that this is millions of years of erosion. That wind, rain, water created these. And we're showing you that that's bullshit. We're showing you and proving that that's bullshit. This is an obvious horseshoe magnet we like to call arches, but this is a tech, this is grid component. And this is blown out, expanded, melted out grid component. Showing you right here. Look at the bulge in this melt right here. Look at this. Center pick. Obvious structure. Brick. Expansion. Color differentials. Scorching, cooked out, showing you the melt. Backing up what we say with the evidence to prove it. Melted, twisted out, expanding up here, twisting really. We see it melting out over here, this aperture here going what we call wonky. It's melted, very viscous. It's dropping with buoyancy and density, creating the distortions of these, what's left of these structures, because this is just a fraction. This is just a fraction of the structure. Again, bringing it to you the way we bring it to you. In a lot of these pics in evidence, I really look for the poppers, if you will. I like to, show you what we're talking about when we're talking about meltology. Cooked out, scorching, structure in there. We can see the cooked out twisting of this structure going down into itself. We can see the obvious brickwork, apertures, block work, rock curtaining, the expansion coming out over these openings, these apertures, and burying them. And when you watch us and you listen to us, you need to pick up on the lingo. When we say rock curtain, when we say balloon rock, when we say brick block, when we say heat differentials, we're describing meltology and what the X factor did to these buildings. Structure, obvious aperture arch here, on and on and on. Showing you in vivid detail this melted realm that we're on. Expansion of a melted structure. Look, here's two apertures. Look at the apertures right here. Arch, column in the middle. Structure underneath. Look, you can pick it out in the color differentials. How is millions of years of erosion going to do this? Look at this right here. This arch right here, the structure expanded out and is filling out this arch and only leaving a sliver of an opening and showing you the expansion and the obvious structure in it, the brickwork in it, the details of the structures being ghosted, if you will. Because when we talk about the X factor, we're talking about the heat energy of the X factor coming from the bottom up, expanding these massive structures from the inside out. Obvious structure once again. How can that be millions of years of erosion? It's not. It's a melted structure. And there's so much to this melted realm. And you know what? That's the thing about Melted Red Brick University, the Eagle Eye crew, the chill out zone, is we don't keep it just on one thing. We expand. We go with the flow of the evidence, and the evidence takes us everywhere. Everywhere. And we bring it to you. Showing you there's much more to meltology. There's much more. And we've showed that through many streams. We've taken you through many different parts of this realm. On the street level, if you will, to underneath, showing you the melt, to the inner parts of this melted realm, showing you the vast caverns, the openings, the areas within the melt that we call inner Earth. It's inner melted structure, because that's what we're on, is a huge melted structure, a logos, if you will, melted out, collapsing, leaving this devastation for us to exist on. And we're so small in this picture. You know, humanity is very small in stature, but we fit in a much larger part of this puzzle. We fit in this puzzle somewhere. And that's what we're aiming to find out. How? They get us focused on out here. For a reason. The deception to blind us from the truth of what we're really on. This melted realm. And what we're looking at in these shots here, and I'll break it down for you because I love to do it. Look, over here, cooked out right side. Aperture right here, arch, expansion, losing the detail in the structure. Viscosity, we can see the expansion of the material. The cooked out, because it's white, it's a lot lighter color, because this was more hotter, than this right next to it over here. You can see the cooked out, the brick losing the C14, the color of the brick itself, the carbon 14 in it, but leaving details of the melt, blending in with the rest of the pick, creating the geology that they've indoctrinated us into believing. Aperture, structure, collapsing down on itself, melting, twisting. Structure, aperture, right angles, obvious architecture. And again, we follow the melt wherever it takes us. Meltology, baby. The inversion is what we're breaking through. The deception is what we're bringing to light. And in the foreground here, we see the reflection of the moon, if you will. And we see the melt. A little dark, but I popped it enough to where we can see. Structure, brickwork, blockwork. Shadows of it. Cooked out up here. Showing structure in the melt. Reflecting off the waters, the flood waters that came in after the melt. And again, we follow the evidence wherever it takes us. I like bringing a melt like this. I like bringing meltology through like this. It shows you, again, the melted structures before us. It shows you the moon in its phases. And we're trying to get down to the bottom of what this, how this functions in our reality. Shell of what's left of this structure here, showing you the brick, the block, the apertures, the obvious structure in it. Trying to wake people up, trying to open their eyes to what's going on here. Because most are lost. In fact, pretty much everybody's lost and deceived and not really understanding what they're on. So many questions in their head, but they can't get past their indoctrination to understand that this is a melted structure. Showing once again, aperture, opening, arch being expanded out here, ghost arch, ghost aperture here because it's getting expanded out. This is all a brick structure that expanded and melted into itself, distorting and warping the original of what it looked like. The melting out, the compression, the pancaking, if you will, of it setting down on itself, melting into itself. Columns being lost in the melt. Obvious rock curtain coming over this, the expansion coming down on it. Showing you the structure being lost right here. You can actually see the shell of the structure here, what's left of it. Shell meaning the exterior part of the certain piece right here. Aperture right here being filled out. This piece right here. This smooth piece right here. You can see how the top, the weight coming down and setting on this here, leaving a little pocket here of the structure. And this is just the shell, once again, of this massive structure. Leaving this visual. Again, letting the melt take us to where it's going to take us. Understanding the evidence and following it is what we do. And it's about understanding the evidence. Because if you don't understand it, it's just another geological feature for you. But I'm showing you this is meltology. And I'll prove it to you. Foreground. Chunks of a melted structure right here, look. We can see the brick in it. We can see the block in it. We can see the C14 in it. We can see the melt behind it. Look at the expansion of this wall. Aperture right here getting cooked out, leaving slight definition of the structure itself. Then when we get into the background of the pic, we see, and I'll break it down for you here. What you're seeing right here in this pic is all these structures in here melting down into themselves and falling back into the left, back into the left. It is, man, and I'll show it to you. Look, this is the melt flow right here. These buildings are sinking down and spreading out into the melt. And I'll show you. Look at the brick block work in that. Look how the flow comes down and flows out. These apertures, these structures falling back and stacking themselves against each other. in the melt. I'll just let your eyes feast, crew. Showing you the massive size of these structures. And that's how people can't see, is these things were so huge, so enormous. It's hard to wrap your head around. That's why we're here. We're here to show you the melt behind it. Structure, brick right here. Boom. All of it. Collapsing down in the melt, because everything out here is melt flow. Everything out here is melted building. Gone, lost in the melt. In fact, you can see glimpses of the structures, the tops of the structures being lost, flowing into the melt. All of this is melt. All this is melt flow back here. All this was structure. And we prove it. Obvious structure being lost in the melt. Wall right here, block. Disintegrating out. This stuff was, again, very hot. Very hot. Losing its shape. Turning it, the heat so intense that it's turning it into, it's changing the state of matter into its basic form, which is the brick ash. Sand, if you want to call it that. I prefer more proper terms like brick ash, building flow, because that's what it is. That's what it is. Trying to help people understand what we're living on. Melted structures falling back into the left, flowing out into the melt. Won't dally. I won't dally, but I do love to bring the evidence. All melt flow. Losing the structure in the melt. See? Expansion, compression, buoyancy and density taking over, and it falling down into its footprint, flowing against each other. This was a massive, massive event that destroyed this realm and left it in this condition. Again, showing these massive structures collapsing and sinking down into themselves, into the melt. Straight lines, straight lines, straight lines. This is the shell of this structure going down into the melt. You can see definition of detail in the structure still. All melt flow. What's this? Let me do something for you because I love you. What's that? Does that look like millions of years of erosion to you? Because I see melted structure. Right here, you can still see the brick, the apertures in it, this pocket of survival, if you will. With the building itself expanding and eating it up, just leaving this little shot for us. And you can still see the flow of the melt, the color differentials showing you the expansion rate of this X Factor event. I can take any pick. I can take a goddamn National Geographic magazine from 50 years ago and I will show you meltology. Because I love to do it. This is what I do. This is what Laughing Eagle does. Bring you a pick like this and prove to you that academia is full of shit. prove to you that they're liars. They're charlatans. They're all in the same club, got the same pinky ring, got the same little perverted desires that they enjoy. And we're showing you this is melt. This huge structure up here, and I do mean huge structure up here, cooked out band coming all the way across, expansion, distorting the physical appearance of these buildings as it's falling down into itself. See? Aperture right here, right angle. Structure being lost in the melt. See? This is not a mud flood event. This is an X factor event. These buildings got electrified and disintegrated down into themselves, leaving what we call brick ash, because that's what it is, brick ash. What's this in the flow of the melt right here? How does geology, how does millions of years of erosion once again leave? Right angles, columns, arches, doorways, windows, obvious structure being lost in the melt. Because this thing went like this. This was pristine. This looked way different than it does now. And when this X factor event happened, this happened. Sinking down, shifting vibrational energy, forcing this thing down into itself, flowing out into the melt as we see structure. All of this, what you call sand, is brick ash and melted structure. So for all you mud flooders out there, please pull your head out of your ass and start opening your fucking eyes and start paying attention. Because we try to bring you the truth. We try to bring you meltology. And when you get people out there bringing you bullshit, it's actually damaging to the message that we're trying to get to people. Showing you this melted realm for what it fucking is. Understanding meltology, training your eyes, rewiring your mind to show you your reality. This is nothing but melt flow out here of these structures melting down into themselves, twisting and distorting, leaving these formations right here. Look. Structure, apertures, tops of melted buildings flowing out into the melt. We like to bring it in tight and show you the texture once again. When we say Eagle Eye Crew, we mean it because we get into the evidence and break it down through descriptions like, again, viscosity, which means very fucking hot, and air escaping, leaving the definition that it does. Aperture here, column in the middle, obvious structure, ballooned out, melted out, showing you the proof. And this is Mars, by the way. Because what I like to do is I like to take the controller's information, that they put in front of us, that they take our money and spend billions and trillions of dollars on over the fucking decades and decades and decades and decades and generations. Okay, this is their information. And I'm showing you Meltology. And I touch on these picks because it's important, because this is where Meltology is leading us. There's more to this realm than we know. And you look at this melt and you compare it with what we just saw with these other picks, this other evidence that I just showed you. I started the pick out showing you that moon shot and the start of their indoctrination of us. And they're always putting it in our face, always giving a false narrative that blinds us from the truth. I'm going to bump through point and poke, showing you the melt, because I got a lot more to show you here. Obvious structure, aperture again right here. Texture again right here. Melted structure, that's what this is. These aren't carvings. You can't carve like that. Okay. Showing you their information. Showing you these melted structures. And for all you naysayers out there, this is their information. What are these? What is all this? If this is on some planet far, far, far away, then what the fuck is all of this? Expand your mind. Alter your perception. Meltology. I like to bump through with my evidence crew. I like to break it up. And that's one thing Laughing Eagle and I are very adamant about is bringing you the best in Meltology. And there's many ways to do it. There's many ways to get through the indoctrination of people. And that's the most important thing to me. Showing you the melt, proving it, we've done. Getting through your indoctrination is the most difficult thing. And we do it with Meltology because visuals speak more than words. Actions speak more than words. Words are cheap. Words are made up. Words are deceptive. The evidence is solid in your face. And what we're looking at here is a rendition of a part of a melted structure. And I do say melted structure because what's this? This is on the outside of an X Factor old world melted structure. Look at the brick right here. Look at the block right here. Look at the expansion, the color differentials. This is more cooked out. This came down and melted over this. Showing you this. Showing you this. This is a rendition. This was a face, a statue, if you will. Melted out. Melted out. It's got algae growing on it because it's got C14 in it. Brick ash is very nutritious for plants. They feed on it. And that's where we see a lot of this. All of this vegetation, jungles, forests, moss, lichens, they're all feeding on the melted out structures. The C14 still in it. the nutrients they need to grow. And this is melted structure, once again, showing you the flow and the viscosity of these structures. This is all cooked out here. The lighter the color, the more cooked out. The darker the color and more detail, the less cooked out. I like to bring meltology the way I bring meltology because I'm trying to get into your mind. I'm trying to help you understand meltology in any way I can with the visuals available. And that's what I love to do, is bring you the visuals available. We're all familiar with this symbol: the yin, the yang, the negative, the positive, the female, the male, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the inversions of one another. And it's all about meltology. It's all about understanding not only our melted realm, but understanding ourself. It's about waking up. We're seeing and I grabbed this pic for a reason, and I'm going to take you somewhere, crew. And I want you to just open your mind. Forget about everything that you've been taught and all this other stuff in your head, and just focus on what I'm showing you right here. Because I'm gonna demonstrate something to you. We're looking at a moonshot. In fact, we're looking at a partial eclipse, if you will, the half moon. We're looking through the cloud layer of the luminary above us. And when we start really, understanding what we're on, we understand these are clouds. But we can also understand the things that can appear in a twisted, melted form, if you will. Pareidoia, if you will. Pareidoia meaning seeing something in an image that's not actually what you're seeing, but given a impression of something that's totally different than what you're looking at. If I was to show you that up close like that, you would think you're looking at the side of a melted structure. When you're actually looking through a cloud layer. Where are you going with this, fervent heat? Hang on. We'll get there. We look up in the sky at night and we wonder. What we're on, where we're at, how do we fit? Cloud layers once again. Looking at the luminaries above us. Showing you, again, open your mind. Understand what you're looking at and listening to what I'm telling you, what I'm showing you. And what I'm showing you here is an eclipse. And I'm showing you the trees down below in this pic. Showing you that this is a shot, a picture of the evidence of this so-called eclipse. And I've done streams before. In fact, I did one not too long ago explaining the schwarze Sonne, the black sun. Here's your black sun. Here is what's causing the so-called eclipse, if you will. Expand your mind. What are we looking at? because these are actual things that we've seen and observed. Now, this is a rendition, and I like to bring things like this to get across something here, okay? We're not doing this for fame and fortune. I'm a nobody. I'm just like anybody else, just like you. We're all just like each other that have been deceived. And what's important is that we show and teach this to our young, because they're so impressionable, they're so vulnerable, they're so innocent at this age. That's why they're grabbed up, snatched up, and made to get on a yellow bus to go to their indoctrination every day. I like to bring you the pretty pics. So does Laughing Eagle. And we're looking at the luminary, the moon, once again. Cherry blossoms in the front, but in the back, our so-called luminary. Just let your eyes feast, crew. We are children of the melt. We are the survivors of the survivors, which Laughing Eagle puts out to us every stream. And we're trying to open your eyes to this reality. And I'm going to help you do this. I'm going to try to get across with this presentation that we are children of the melt. Trying to put the pieces together. Trying to look and see what the truth is. And what is the truth? Are we the truth? Who are we? Why are we here? What are we actually about? Because geology and history and all that will tell you that you come out of a monkey's ass. And through millions of years of crawling around and slithering around, you grew fucking legs. Okay, this is their insanity. We're showing you, we're reaching back into the old world. We're reaching back into meltology and showing you the old world, the antiquitech that was in the old world, and how it plays into this X Factor event. What are we? Where do we come from? What's going on? Here's a shot. I'll show you this, and you tell me what you see, crew. Do you see arches? Do you see melted structure? Do you see doorways, windows opening, expansion? Who are we? We're children of the melt. What is our makeup? Well, we're, taught. We're flesh and bone and blood and water and everything else. And what you're looking at here isn't melt. This is not melt. This is us. This is us. And what our physical makeup is to observe what we see in our reality. Because this is an eyeball. This is a cornea. This is a retina. This is the makeup of this visual lens that you were given when you entered the being that you are, the vessel that you're in. We all are made like this. This is our makeup. We've been deceived. To not understand what's going on. To be a slave to the system. To not ask questions, but just to follow and obey. And many throughout time, if you will, have seen Meltology and really not understand what they're looking at. And this is an older pick. And obvious this guy is focusing on the melt because he sees something's not right. Or maybe he knew, because there's many out there that know. There's many out there that know. And they put out things in their way, showing us Meltology, but not coming out and flat out telling us. Because I like to click into a lot of rendition art. And I've done this before in streams, bringing up these people with bands or groups or whatever that they are. And, you know, they put out visual images of their stuff. And for the longest time, Meltology has been put right in our face by rock bands, by artists of whatever their field is. And they display Meltology. Because that's how they mock us. Showing us in our face and us not understanding. You've really got to expand your mind when you get into Meltology. You really need to understand the deception put upon us. Because when you do that, it all opens up for you. Rendition art. What are we looking at? Is this just some kind of artistic design somebody made up? Well, if they did, they've got very good attention to detail when you get into the evidence. Because I see melted structure here. I'm getting rid of this little logo up here and looking at this down here, and I'm getting into the melt. I'm getting into actually what I am looking at. Do you see it? We've seen this pattern many a times before, this Lichtenberg pattern, this melted out pattern. And what this is I'm seeing melted structures completely cooked out and walls falling in descent and folding into themselves. Apertures everywhere, structure everywhere. What do you see, crew? That's why nobody comes up and challenges us. And we put out the invitation many a times for the academia to come up and explain. And they will not, because they know that they can't. The evidence is too strong. Just showing you some renditions here, lost in the melt. Showing you, again, mud flooders, that it's not a mud flood. It is a brick ash, a melt flow. And here's a great rendition of these statues, very famous in China. sinking down into the melt. Sinking down into themselves, leaving everything else around them lost in the melt. Showing you the texture, the details of the X factor, the expansion again, C14 once again, the obvious melt, the disintegration, the brick ash created by these structures disintegrating down into themselves. Because that's exactly what we're looking at. These renditions being lost in the melt. And these renditions, statues, if you will, they're very important. And I've always said that. For one, they're heat damaged. They're in the melt. They were part of these structures. For two, they give us a glimpse of what these beings might have looked like. This is obviously heat damaged, but it shows the facial structures. It shows the renditioning of the attire that these people were dressed in. They displayed in their artistic form on the structures. And this is just a chunk lost in the melt. Older pick. And I snapped this one for a reason, because there's a story behind this pick right here. And if you're from the East Coast of the United States and you're in the Appalachian range, what we're looking at here is a rendition of what they call the Moon-Eyed people. The storyline behind these Moon-Eyed people is in the, if you will, native oral traditions. The beings that they encountered in their generations of observation. And there's many cryptids, many mythical beings that have been passed down through stories, and they deserve investigation. Older pick, showing you that people have been looking at this for a long time, actually having questions as to what they're looking at. Fuck. Mars again. And I'm going through these like this just to give a break here and there. Bringing you the melt. And this is another shot of Mars. This again is from the rover. Now, right off the bat, Photoshopped, AI, CGI, whatever. Well, most are going to think that. And I don't take everything as, I understand there's deception in this tech, and they're very good at what they do. But when I get into picks like this, I always go for the melt. I always go for the evidence. And this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the melt. I'm looking for the heat differentials. And I see it melted in right here. I don't see any cut. I don't see any paste. I see blend. I see heat damaged on whatever the fuck this is, and how it blends with the rest of the melt. And I look at this right here. And we're looking at texture. And you get into the evidence. And when you're in meltology, you got to get in the evidence and you got to critically break down what you're looking at. Now, whatever this feature here is, okay, I'm going to show you what I see here. And I say this is heat damaged. I mean, this is heat damaged. Look at the lip on this right here. Follow my cursor. See the lip on this right here? Why do we lose it back here? Why is it melted out? Why did it disappear back here? Because it's showing you the heat damage. And this is what I go with the evidence on this. These structural, whatever they are, that's heat damage, is I'm looking for the consistency in the melt. And this right here shows me the consistency of this melt. We lose it back here. This is heat damaged. I can tell by the texturing and the colorization of it. So whether you think this is real or this is fake, this is meltology. This is NASA's image right here, by the way. These are the experts. These are the wizards bringing you the evidence. This is their shit. Showing you texture, once again. Very important. Mars, their evidence. Showing you the same melt that we just went through in these prior pics. And I'll bump through them fast. Just showing you the melt, the flow, the consistency of the X factor in the evidence. Showing you, again, the melt. Because I just don't take things at face value. I get in and dig. I get in and look, and I get in and observe. And I get different shots to go to different lighting, showing us melt. What's this? All this shit laying here. What's this right here? It's expansion. It's melted structure. It's melted whatever this is. It's in the melt flow. Brick ash, melt flow. Whatever this is, it's in it. Showing you the texturing of these features. Texture. Again, focusing on the details, focusing on the meltology. Again, their information. Structure, aperture, melt flow here in the middle. Wall right here, cooked out. We in Melted Red Brick University, Eagle Eye crew in the chill out zone, go where the melt takes us. Go where the evidence is. And it's taken us a lot of places. It's showing us a lot of melt, a lot of evidence. Big rock curtain coming over this aperture right here, expansion. Obviously, melt. Texture, cooked out over here. Less cooked out, melt flow. Obvious structure back in here. Getting into the detail is what I do. because it's all about the details, all about showing you the melt and breaking it down. And what I see here is this side is the shell. Look, let me show you. Look at your difference between this right here, this edge right here, and then this over here. This is the shell, like Laughing Eagle said, of the side of this column piece, the side of this aperture here, and the melt and the twist and the churning of the bricks changing the state of matter that they were in, the structure losing its features. Right angle corner right here in the melt. Texture once again. Here we go. Again, their information from their little rover. Now, this could be anywhere. This could be, they say Mars. I don't believe it's Mars as far as the luminary Mars. Where this is, I don't know. This could be fucking Iceland for all we know. These guys, these people lie so goddamn much. They've shown us for so long and deceived us with shit. Who knows where this is? But it's there wherever it is, and I'm showing you the melt. And I'm showing you where they say it is. What's all this? This is all melted structure. Once again, like we've seen before in the beginning of this presentation, same kind of melt, same kind of structures up top. Follow your skyline. It's structure. Right angle drops, apertures, definition. Whatever this was, it was lost in the melt. Expansion, heat coming from the bottom up. We expand our vision. We fly high, we fly straight, we fly together to bring you the melt wherever it is. Their information. Showing you the same melt. Obvious structure, follow your skyline. Terracing down, sinking down into the melt. Structure in the melt. To the side of this. Expansion, structure, right angles, apertures, balloon rocking, rock curtaining. Again, these features down here. This feature's over here. It's all melted structure. It's all melted structure. This whole building back here is sinking down into the melt. Heat coming from the bottom up, as you can see. State of matter changing, shifting, settling down into itself. As you can see back here, too. Sinking down into the melt. And I took these for a reason, because this shit is out there, big time. And it's meltology. And it's funny to me. It is. Because I show pics like this, and people will go, "You're crazy. You're fucking crazy, Dean. These aren't melted structures." But they'll believe NASA, and they'll believe that they're going around the fucking sun at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. And they'll believe all that heliocentric bullshit. They'll dive into their Bible and they'll listen to their stories. Their stories. Their scriptures. And they'll cling onto it and hold tight in their indoctrination. But they won't believe what we're showing them with the motherfuckers right here, with their information. How hypocritical. Aperture is being lost in the melt. See? The expansion down here, showing you the heat differentials, the structure shifting, flowing down into itself. Aperture twisting, distorting, sinking down into itself, as we see right here. Trying to wake people up. Trying to bring melt in all of its fashions, all of its forms, all of its locations, wherever it is. If it's melted, we're fucking bringing it to you, okay? And we'll break it down and show you the evidence. And show you the evidence. And show you the evidence of what we're talking about. Because this is showing me right here, these melted structures sinking down into the melt. And here's the internals right here, twisting and distorting down into themselves. See? Mars. Their information showing you this melted wall right here. And they circled this little feature right here. And their narrative is, there's a fucking alien looking at you right there. Well, that'll grab everybody's attention, right? You can show them aliens all day long, and I'm not saying true or false on that. Who knows what's floating around in this realm? Definitely there's proof of stuff, but They're going to take pics like this, and they're going to show you this is an alien. I'm showing you this is just part of the expansion and this feature being lost in the melt right here. Heat damage flows in with the melt. Red brick, C14 right here, cooked out here, in an aperture expanding out into the melt. That's what I'm seeing. Because they will always throw shit in there to throw you off track. Melted structure, massive one. And here's a pocket of survival in it. Block out. This whole thing is all block. See it? Balloon rocking out, blocking out apertures in it. Being rock curtained over and consumed by the melt. Again, brick ash down here. Structure down here. Better shot of that over here, look. The chunks of this structure right before it hits the flow of the melt out here. This is hot down here. This was so hot. This was the hottest part down here. And this whole structure was sinking down into it. And here's your fuse line right here. Here's your melt flow. And it's showing you the structures, the chunks in it, the right angles in it. Whatever it was on in this building is expanding out and sinking down into the melt. Texture. Mars. Showing you the expansion, showing the color differentials, showing the blocking going on. Balloon rocking going on, structure being lost in the melt. Showing you apertures, walls, expanding out into the melt, into itself. The state of matter changing, expanding, warping into something really unrecognizable, but leaving us glimpses of shit like this. What's that? Tower column coming up, the side of it being lost in the melt. And this is the top of this structure right here. Look at the expansion underneath it. This isn't erosion. These are the states of matter changing in these huge structures, leaving us the detail that they are. Out there for us to discern, break down, understand. Snapped a couple of them because of the different lighting in this, trying to get the best I can in these imageries for you, showing you what I'm talking about. The apertures being lost in the melt. The drop in the flow of the structures melting over each other. As we see right here. As we see right here, sinking down into itself. Expanding out from behind itself, covering up the features. Mars. What's this? Does that look like erosion to you? It's a wall coming off this melt behind it over here. Showing you the melt as we see in the structures, the blocking going on, the slaty, the flat pieces, the welding of this. How is this even existing? Why isn't this crumbled down into itself? Because it's fused together as one piece now, welded, if you will. Sinking down, all this sinking down. This brick ash here is the hottest part. And these structures all the way around, all this lighter stuff, this is the melt flow right here. Here's the buildings disintegrating into brick ash right here. Here's the flow of the brick ash, the vibrational pattern of the X factor event, leaving definitions of the structure that this brick ash used to be, leaving these riveting definitions. This is structure. It's what you need to understand. When you're looking at these huge sand dunes in the Sahara, in the Gobi, in the Mojave, wherever you're at, you need to understand you're looking at brick ash, and all the features sticking out of it is the remnants of the building that it used to be. And we've proven that time and time again. Doesn't matter if it's so-called Mars or the Mojave. It's X factor, and it's evidence. And I'm back to that shot right there in this file. I'm passionate about meltology, and I'm passionate about exposing these lying bastards, these deceivers, these bringers of misery and death, and exposing them for who and what they are. So we can move on as a species, as humanity, if you will, as male and female coming together to procreate. I'm going to back out for just a second, crew. Just a second, I'm going to back out and see what time it is. See who's in the chat. Wow, there y'all are. There's my fam. There's my fam. Let me bring myself center pick here for a minute. Brick love and one love to you and yours. Fervent heat here in the nest. I'm going to click through some chat here, see who's up in here. We started off with Janny Yost. Brick love to you, darling. Welcome. A new one up in here. Haven't seen you before. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to have you in here. And hope you're enjoying the evidence. Hope you're enjoying being here in the chill out zone with me. Bella's kiss. There you are. Let me break down some chat here. Dean needs to take off his shades and put on his specs so I can read what y'all are talking about here. Bella's kiss. Interesting pictures, Danny Yost says. Look, we are on moon, Bella's kiss says. In Hungary, we have a big tradition of using mud brick mix with mixture of hay and make a wall house. Sure, some memory and for free. Of course, that's been proven. They make structures, adobes, if you will. They mix brick, ash, clay, if you will, with straw and stuff, pack it, make their own bricks to make structures, but they're using X factor material. That's what they're doing. They're using the X factor material, the brick ash. James Breeden, Big Jimmy, brother. Much love to you, man. Always glad to see you up in here. Big Jimmy says, hey, Dean, I hope all is well. Big Jimmy's sending much love and blessings to you and all in the chat. Why? Because there is only one love, brick love. Absolutely right, bro. Absolutely right. The most important question is, who is in control of our mind? You know what? I call you fam because you are. Because we're like-minded free thinkers, critical thinkers. Okay. Understanding what we're talking about here. And this is why Spartan Red, Laughing Eagle created this platform, is for our like minds to come together. Okay. Because you really can't break this down to most common people out there that don't understand meltology. And that's why it's so important that we try to get this through to people, because the indoctrination is strong in most everybody. And Curtis 47, got to go to work. Thank you, Fervent Heat, for the knowledge. Much respect and brick love always. Back to you too, brother. Curtis 47. You know, that's why I do it, you know. And this is my passion. This is why I go by Fervent Heat, because it's the fucking passion in my heart, man. Because I'm dead set on exposing this shit. Worked with many meltologists coming up in here, bringing the evidence and exposing this shit. And the reason I like to reach out into different areas, different mindsets, different thought processes, is because we each have our own. And still being meltologists, there's a lot out there that are still holding on to their dogmas of the deception and lies, afraid to release it and understand a different mindset. It's the fear that's got you trapped. It's the fear that's taken over your mind still. If you're into politics, if you're into religion, okay. This is not digestible the most because we offend their thought process. We challenge their own explanations of stuff and showing them that they've been deceived. And that's hard for a lot of people to grip. That's hard for a lot of people to understand. And they will get offended and they will get lashed out. They will lash out at you. And I'm talking about your own families, man. They will be offended because it breaks their bubble. It breaks their comfort zone. And the things that I say might offend people, but this is me and I'm bringing it to you how I fucking see it, how I see it. Through my experience my experiences of what I've been through with people. And anger is the first action, the first reaction. Acceptance is where we're getting them to. Because it's about the evidence once again. We're not selling you shit up here. We're bringing you the truth. We're bringing you the evidence, the receipts, if you will. And when we mean evidence because it is evidence, because that's what crime scenes are, is evidence. And yeah, this is a crime scene. Out of all the melt that we've ever showed you, out of all the joints that Laughing Eagle Spartan Red has put up for years now, our exhibit A, B, C, all the way through Z and back again. It's evidence because we're being deceived, as we keep saying, and we're trying to wake people up because there's got to be a catalyst. The straw that breaks the camel's back, if you will, is a melted brick. And we bring it to you different. And we bring it to you in an entertaining way, breaking through the human condition with Laughing Eagle's memes, because we got to laugh at ourselves, people. We got to laugh at ourselves. We've got to break. We've got to get rid of this control mechanism that's got everybody in their grip. And we do that through laughter. And we do that by bringing up things that might be offensive to some because they can't get past their own human condition. And that's why we do what we do, and we bring it like we do. And again, Melted Red Brick University, like, share, and subscribe. Turn people onto it, man. Like I said, bring them up in your space. Turn on your tech. Sit down and enjoy your time with them. and show them this. Bring them into the chill out zone and let us help you explain Meltology to them. So what I'm going to do right now, it's time for a little break. So spark them if you got them, crew. Go get your drink on, go get your eat on, go get your other things that you might need to do done. And we're going to take a little bit of a break right here. And I'm going to bring up a little intermission so we can take this time, because I don't have a lot of time left. I got maybe an hour. And we'll get into some different flow here in just a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to intermission. And we'll be right back.
Sits all alone. He lives the world that is his own. He's lost in thought of who to be. I wish to God that he would see just love. Give him love. He tries so hard to give a light. He wants to be what he is not. Love's not harsh, love's not bad. And what he's doing for love is so sad. All the time getting in, thinks he can get out. Something's deep inside of him, eating up the pride of him, that makes him buy things for the girls. That's what you get for being polite. For being polite.
Brick Love Crew. Hope you feel better. I do. Much better. Got my coffee on, got a taking care of a few things I needed to take care of. And here I am back again. Fervent heat up here in the nest. Melted Red Brick University. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay. We are the tip of the spear in Meltology. And we are surrounded by the shield of truth, which is the evidence. Okay. And, we've had many come up here in the nest, like I've explained before, like you've seen before. And, I like to give shout outs to meltologists out there. And I give one love, brick love to all meltologists out there. But there's a few out there that I really love to highlight. And one is Knowledge, our brother Knowledge. And you can find him on Knowledge TV. And I urge you, I implore you to click in and share the brick love with Knowledge, because that cat right there from the get-go has seen the melt at the level the Laughing Eagle and I see the melt. And he displays it brilliantly through his work. Much love to you, Knowledge. Much respect, my brother. And I look forward to being up in the nest with you again. I miss you, and I respect your work immensely. And that goes for, I love all meltologists out there. Whatever things have happened, people have went their own way. People that I've been up here in the nest with on many streams before, breaking down melt. I'm glad to see you're out there still showing your evidence the way you show your evidence, no matter who you are. And I'm really glad to see that you're finally starting to break down the evidence and get into the details, because that's what's important. That's what needs to be shown, is the explanation and the detail of the melt, to get people to understand what we're talking about. Because other than that, it's just a fucking picture show. If you're not understanding what we're showing you and you don't get it, it's a picture show. That's where we separate ourselves up here in Melted Red Brick University, in this platform created by Spartan Red, Laughing Eagle, and his creative genius and his brilliant artwork of meltology, bringing it the way only he can. And I love you for it, my brother. So once again, Melted Red Brick University, like, share, and subscribe. Knowledge TV, check him out. Brilliant, brilliant mind. I've got about an hour left, crew, before I got to go do what I do. So I'm going to dive back into a little bit more evidence for you. And I got a file or two I'm going to click into. And Big Jimmy, I love you, brother. Big Jimmy says, there you go again, Dean, slapping the shit out of geology, monkey. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, brother. It really is. Geology, religion, politics. Yeah, that's what I'm about, showing the deception that they throw upon us. So with further ado, here we go again, crew. Let me bring it back up in here. Because we got a little bit more to go through. Just bear with me a second, crew. I'm going to find a spot here. All right, we just bumped through that file there. And I want to go to this file here. And I want to break down some more melt with you. From, again, the powers that be's information, the powers that be's imageries of places that they're showing us. Actually, hold on. I'm going to go to a little bit different here. Let's see. Is this the one? No, that ain't the one. Bear with me, crew. Bear with me. You know me, Dino. Getting through it the way I get through it. Getting through it the way I get through it. And I'm going to click fast through a few of these. And this one I showed before, but if you haven't seen it before, I want to bring this to you because this again is from their information, from their little fucking piece of tech that they landed somewhere and exposing this melt wherever it is. And I'm going to show you it right now. This is a rendition of a melt in the realm wherever it is. And a lot of people will say CGI, blah, 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 blah. Well, fuck off with that. You think what you want. I'm going to bring you meltology, okay? I'm going to bring you meltology and explain to you what I'm seeing here, okay? I'm seeing a rendition, a big one, and I'm seeing the melted structure around it. And I'll show you this. See this cooked out piece right here? See how it extends all the way up here and then flows this way and then flows back this way? You're looking at the electrical discharge of the X factor event. You're looking at the electrical heat energy that come from the bottom up, expanded these structures from the inside out, and leaving this feature right here, this cooked out. This is all cooked out. This is all expanded, very hot, different from the melt around it. You can see the color differentials in the details of the structure itself. And this is a signature of the X factor. And we've seen this many a times before in the melt, in features, throughout this realm. And we're seeing this feature right here. And it is heat damaged. And I'm showing you the expansion. I'm showing you the color differentials. Once again, in meltology. The bottom of this feature here, showing you the meltology in it, proving to you the structures that are there. Look at this line coming up here. Okay, this is all sinking down, and this is the melt right here. This is where it's flowing into the hottest part of the melt and losing itself, disintegrating down into the melt. Here's the chunks of the structure being consumed by the melt. The wall back here sinking down into the melt. See it? Sinking down. See how it's dipping? The one behind it dipping? It's flowing down into the melt, into the foreground wall here, being lost into the melt, showing you the C14 and the brick in the structure itself. The bottom part of this rendition, again, popping this detail right here. Look, this structure sinking down, shifting back, flowing out into the melt right here. Look, structure underneath it. Obviously, this is not millions of years of erosion and shit. This is meltology. Look at the expansion in the brick right here. Look at this. Aperture, 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 expansion, brick work right here. Look, apertures up in here. The shell of the outer part of the structure, and I mean shell because that's all it is. Everything behind all of this wall feature here is showing you the churned out brick behind it, the expansion behind it. We show you, look, this is their little logo up here. And I left this there. I left this there to show you that this is their evidence. This is the Mars rover. This is their information. And they're showing us right here this structure. Look, you can see the structure right here. Look, right angle, drop, right angle, drop, the expansion coming off this wall here. Heat coming from the bottom up again, sinking down into the melt. Popped it for the color, showing you, want to show you what I'm telling you, showing you here. Look, this arch feature here and the expansion coming out of it. You can see back in there, the gap. These things expanded from the inside out. Look at the thickness of this in here. Look at the pancaking going on right here. Pancaking, settling down on itself. The viscosity, these things became very malleable, like taffy. Melting. Getting in tight. This is what I do. I get in tight on this evidence. And I see the right angle here. This obvious aperture with the expansion. Look, I'm showing you the expanded material coming from the inside out, expanding, distorting the shape of the structure itself. Folding down and in to itself. Closing in, filling out of the apertures. Rock curtaining above the rendition that we see here. Getting into the texture, the viscosity of the melt. Because it describes the X factor. Looking at the concrete molds or whatever these are, these huge archways coming up. Structure. Look how it's buckling right here. Getting lost in the melt. Look at the expansion behind this column piece coming up here. Getting lost in the melt. Showing this heat signature again, this ghosting, if you will, this electrical energy flowing through here. Popping it for you to show you that it's not a lens flare. This is a electrical signature of the X Factor event. And we've seen it time and time again in the evidence, showing you the cooked out and the structures being lost in the melt. Look at the right angles. Look at the obvious structure of this. Here's the arm coming down off of this rendition here, showing you the detail and the expansion once again. The brickwork involved in this structure. See how it's getting lost in the melt? Popping the detail as best I can for you to break down the melt. Because we're going to be taking you places, crew. We're going to be bringing you evidence that you have not seen before. We're going to be giving you different thought processes through the discoveries in meltology. Look at the melt here on this. The brickwork, the block work, the expansion, the balloon rocking, going into blocking. Look at the state of matter changing right here. Look at this. See this feature right in here? Let me do something real quick. I'm trying to move fast because I don't have a lot of time left. I want to pop this for you just a little bit right here. Look. Look at the state of matter changing. These bricks are forming into huge blocks. See it? See it? Again, nice little shot. Structures coming down, flowing out. See how they're bending down into the melt? Getting lost and consumed in the brick ash. Dean, you're fucking crazy, they say. You're crazy. This isn't melted structure. There's nothing to this. Well, if it's so unbelievable, what the fuck happened on 9/11? You take the size of those towers and you see what happened. You're telling me this X factor is impossible? You're telling me that this information is just bullshit, but you'll believe everything that you see in the narratives of the tragedies that have happened in real time in front of us. Look, here's the rendition over here. Okay, here's the rendition over here. The head, whatever this is going up into the melt here. Okay, and what's this over here? If that's not a structure, then what the fuck is that? Come on, geology. Come on, naysayers. What is that? What is this piece coming up here? What is this here? Why is it expanded? Losing the detail in here. It's structure. What's the column piece coming up into here with the apertures up in here? It's structure. Obviously. X factor signature, once again, showing you the ghosting that it does with these apertures. Cooking them out to the point where they're only leaving a faint glimpse of the image of the structure that it used to be. Popping the detail as best I can for you to show you, to prove to you what we're talking about here. Aperture, aperture, aperture. Once again, this feature here showing you the obvious brickwork, blockwork in this melt right here. The wall structure, once again, right here, sinking down into the melt. The concrete molding or whatever this is up here, showing you the definition and the detail of the structure itself in the melt. Structures being lost in the melt. Sorry for some background noise. Showing you the wall feature again being lost in the melt. And this is the bottom of that rendition. Showing you the brickwork once again right here in the melt. Going down, splaying out. I want you to get a picture in your mind right now when I say star fort. Star fort. And you look at the bases of these star forts. These star forts are nothing but the tops of melted buildings. And we see this feature right here, splaying out, coming down and flowing out, bending into the melt. That's exactly what those wall features in these star forts are doing. They're the tops of the melted building, sinking down and splaying out just like this into the footprint of itself. Right angles right here. Look at obvious structure right here. Look at that. Obviously a structure right here. Big rock curtain expansion coming off in the melt. Sorry for the background noise, people. There's nothing I can do about it. I apologize if you hear that. My roomie is giving birth to a new lung he's choking up. In the melt. Pop in the detail. That's why these are a little bit redundant, just showing you the texture, the different lightings as best I can in the melt. The torso, the bottom half of this rendition here, showing the heat damage and expansion on it. The lines, again, the expansion down here, the scorching going on. Right next to the apertures once again in the melt. Flicking through a little quick because I want to bring you a little bit more before I got to fly, crew. I'm going to click on just a couple in this file just to show you some things. Jumping around a little bit here because I want to get into some stuff just to show you. Meltology. Chunks of massive structures disintegrating and falling down into the melt flow. Showing you the pockets of survival flowing down into the melt. You can see the definition and the blocking and the structure being consumed by the melt, flowing into the melt, leaving chunks of itself in the melt. Showing you the pancaking once again. See it? These lines right here? This is the building expanding and pancaking down onto itself. One level over the other. The huge blocks, the heat damage, the scorching, look at the texture again, showing you the block brick pattern in the melt. The viscosity of these structures being lost in the melt. Chunks being fused as they flow out into the melt. Chunks, again, Mars, their information. And we're bringing you meltology. Look at the slaty material. Look at how this just compressed down. Look how they're shifting in here. Look how it's expanding out right here, losing the definition of what's left of this structure right here, flowing out into the melt, down into itself. Look. Chunks again being left in the melt. All of this is structure, pancaking. You can see it. The lines again. This is all structure sinking down in the melt, turning to brick ash. not mud, brick ash, the disintegration, the pulverized material created from this X factor energy. I'll show you right here. Structure, block, brick, getting cooked out to the point where it's losing all of its definition and just expanding out into itself. The melt flow back here. This is all structure flowing into the melt, being lost into the melt. All of it is structure, every bit of it, showing you. The aperture right here, right angle, look, boom, 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 cooked out right here, expansion. Look at the heat differentials in this right here, the blocking going on. The apertures right here, the building being rock curtained, this being rock curtained over right here. I mean, it's all right here, right in front of our eyes. Downward angle, looking at the melt flow, leaving chunks of itself right here. Again, viscosity. Look how hot this was. Look how hot this was. This feature right here. Anybody ever made a pancake on a griddle before? You put your dough on it, and that heat from the bottom up is making air bubbles and popping. The air escaping from the batter. Same thing right here. Showing you the heat escaping, the apertures twisting and turning and losing itself into the melt. Leaving, look at that, structure, pancaking lines, apertures, disintegrating, pulverizing down into the brick ash. The state of matter that changed and flowed out from the structures itself. Mars, their information right here. Showing us this. I don't have to break it down, crew. I don't have to break this down. If you cannot see that this is melted structure, that this was one structure in a very different look than it is now, then once again, your indoctrination is very strong. Showing you, proving to you the X Factor event. What is that? Well, it looks like walls to me. Looks like structure to me. Looks like expansion from heat energy, changing the state of matter in these structures. All of it. All of it. Balloon rocking. Brick block cooked out. Obvious structure, once again, in the melt. So for all you naysayers out there that say bricks cannot melt, well, you need to re-examine your thought process, because we have done nothing but shown you the evidence to prove what we're saying for so long now. Structure. Look at this arch. See how it's the heat energy coming up, expanding up, cooked out around the arch feature itself, showing this pocket of survival sinking down into the melt. Back wall, look. Structure back here, apertures everywhere, sinking down. Right here's the melt flow. Right here it is at the transition line, completely losing its formation in the melt flow, leaving this in the melt flow. Look at this tower. Look at this feature right here. Look at all this. Texture, expansion, pancaking, melt flow. Just letting your eyes feast, crew. Going to bump through. Nothing to see here. Let's move on. Again, their information. Their information, their data they put out. And I grabbed it, and I will grab more, and I will show you. We're seeing meltology here. Look how it blends in with the melt coming off right here. Losing itself in the brick right here, in the brick ash. Look, sinking down. Look at the expansion coming up. Look how it's just chewing it out right here. Sinking down into itself. Lines again in the melt flow. In the melt flow. Melt flow, Mars. Structures in the back, sinking down into the melt. Wall feature right here. Structure. You're being lost into the melt. Structure. Apertures, expansion, going balloon rock, blocking, sinking down, pulverized into itself. All this back here, showing you that all this back here is a building being ghosted and losing itself in the melt. All this very cooked out. Look at the flow of the melt down here. Look at that. Look at the scorched out, cooked out of all this material down in the melt. Color differentials off the hook. This is very hot down here. Very hot and fluid. It shows it. The flow of the melt. This is a lot hotter than this, and this is obviously showing it sinking down into its own footprint. Obviously a structure. Look at this right here. Compare it to this over here, and you see it's the same. Yes? What happened in the middle here? Well, let me show you what happened in the middle here. This piece right here was up here, connected to this right here. And this cooked out and blew out right here, disintegrated out, flowing down into the melt. See the drop? This comes across here. This is way down here. Why? Electrical heat energy changed the state of matter of this structure right here. And this is sinking down into the melt. Boom, here. This is staying up here. This blew out up here, just dropping all of this. Look at the definition in this right here. See how it's flowing down into the melt? Look at your lines up here. Now look underneath. This is this feature right here is underneath the feature right here, which is closer to the top of the building. And look how it's stretching and flowing into the melt. Topography. Mars. What's that? Structure. Sinking down. Wall features being lost in the melt. All throughout this, you can see it. You can follow the tops of these melted buildings and see how they're disappearing down into the melt, into the imprint of itself, footprint of itself. The flow pattern of the melt, the structure's twisting and shifting down into the melt. Breaking it up for you, crew. Look, anybody see melted structure here? Anybody see melted structure here? Not seeing it yet? I know you are, crew, but anybody out there just sitting there checking this out? Got any questions? I do. I got buttloads of questions. Yeah. And this is the imagery they give us. Once again, their shit. Just popping it. And they always like to take evidence and they always like to put it in this heliocentric fucking model here. And what I think we're seeing is we're just seeing fractions of the melt, wherever it is. And they're cropping it to make it look spherical. Melted structure sinking down into the melt. Melt flow. Melted structure is flowing down, pancaking in, shifting in the melt and shoving against each other right here. Look at this. See this feature? Boom, 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 boom. This is the disintegration, and this is all leaning back. Again, follow your lines. Pancaking into itself, going down into the melt. Leaving this shit flowing on top of the melt. Chunks of the structure flowing down into the melt. Lines, follow your lines. See how it's sinking down? Coming in right here. This wall feature, this expanded feature right here, losing itself in the melt. This flowing over the top of it, pressing down right here, pushing this out this way into the melt. Massive structure. All of this sinking down into the melt. Let me show you. Let me show you something. All this cooked out right here, very hot, flowing down into the melt. This structure, look. What's that? Check my time here real quick. Got a few minutes left. Just a few, crew. Melted building. Follow your lines. See these lines? See these lines? See these lines? This is all part of the structure. The levels of the structure expanding, compressing down onto itself, flowing down this way into the melt this way, expanding out this way into the melt. All of this up top, shifting down and expanding over into the melt. Look at this structure right here, dome feature up top. Look. Big chunk shifting down into the melt. Big structure back here. Wall right here, leaning this way, sinking down, pancaking into the melt. rubble in the melt flow. Disintegrating just pulverized melted brick and brick ash flowing down in the melt, leaving chunks flowing in the melt with it into this very hot fluid down in here. Chunks being fused in the melt flow. Look at the brickwork in here. Look at your blocking in here. Look at your expansion. Resting in the melt. Expansion, losing its shape and definition completely, just leaving faint glimpses of ghost apps, expansion of the walls, of the structures itself, sinking down into the melt. Melt flow. Huge structure. Look at your lines. Pancaking down onto itself, leaving definitions of wall structures, cooked out structures, stringing out into the melt. Pocket of survival in the melt flow of this massive structure. Massive structure. Sinking down and leaving ghosts of column, wall piece right here, pocket of survival right here, coming here, showing the shell of this wall piece right here. Look at your color differentials. Expansion coming from the bottom up, heat, look. Being lost and consumed in the melt. Downward shot in the melt. You see the flow, the action of the melt. What's this over here? Structure sinking down into the melt. What are these? Sinkholes of structures sinking down into the melt. These are not craters. These were not caused by asteroids. These are part of the structure sinking down into its fucking self. Look. Look at the wall. Look at the structures in here, wavy, being lost, distorted into the melt. Aperture, cooked out over here, sinking down into the melt. Structure, C14 laden, look at that, into the melt. The action and the flow of the melt. Flowing, material, expansion, getting cooked out, twisting, turning into itself, distorting everything, leaving the melt flow itself. Melt flow. Mars, people. Structure. Expansion. Apertures. Being lost in the melt. Structure. Being lost in the flow of the melt. pancaking down, twisting, distorting, compressing again, sinking down into the melt. What's this? Look at that. This right here. See this cooked out, all this white material? Look at this. Expansion here coming across. And this is aperture. Rock curtain over here. Aperture, 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 aperture right here. And look at the definition in this as we come across. What's this? I see a column being ghosted into the melt right here. This whole piece is structure. All of this is structure, but this is showing you this cooked out material, this whole wall coming down this way. This cooked out structure. Look, you can see down in how it's compressing against the other part of the structure. Look at the wave pattern. You got to understand something about this melt flow. Okay, this stuff was very hot and viscous. Different temperatures for different parts of the structure in their melt flow. When you have very viscous stuff flowing and then, coming in with other less hot chunks of the structure, it's combining into itself, and the action of the melt is causing these wave patterns. The internal parts of these structures that have still got some solidness to them, pushing against, forcing the flow of the melt in the direction that it took, leaving glimpses of the structures on a massive scale. Okay, crew. Let me check my time. Oh yeah, we're at that time right now, crew. So I'm going to back out here and come center screen. You give some love to the fam, and that's what you are. You are fam. And Bella's Kiss here, Devin Mike 69, Dean the Machine, brother. Devin, it's passion, brother, and you got it. And I know you do. You got the eye, bro. You got the eye. Can't wait to get you up in here in the nest. Like I said before, shooting you links when I can, just in the hopes that you can grab them and come in, brother. I know you work hard, and everybody does. And the time that you come up here and spend with me and Laughing Eagle in the nest in Melted Red Brick University, becoming part of the Eagle Eye crew. We're tight. We're family, and you're all brilliant, man. And we've said this before. Oxax, hey, brother, good to see you. Who else? Sandra Boy's up in here. Bella's Kiss. Knowledge was up in here. Big Jimmy, Curtis 47. Brick love, everybody out there. And again, your time is valuable, and I don't take it for granted. And neither does Laughing Eagle. Our time is valuable as well. And I spend mine researching and bringing you the evidence that I do. And I got lots more to show. I just got time restraints, as we all do. And I urge you again to get involved. Come up in here. Be part of this. Bring your melt. Show us your melt, baby. Bring it up in here. Set with us. And break it down to show others. You have to take action to make things happen. Get on up in here. Love to see you up in here. Love to meet you. And you don't have to hang out for hours like me, Laughing Eagle. You can come in, show your evidence, give some love, and then fly out. Your choice. You can hang, you can fly. There's no pressure up in here. There's no shackling going on up here. There's no hog tying going on in here. We want you to bring you, just like I bring me, my way, who I am. Come on up in here. We love you. We love you. And I hate to close out, but I have to. Gotta do some stuff. So, one love, Brick love. And from Laughing Eagle, Spartan Red, my brother, Thank you again for this platform. Thank you again for all those joints you're rolling up. Thank you again for all your creative content that you bring to us for us to enjoy and to learn off of. Much respect, much love to everybody out there. And as Laughing Eagle says, we are the survivors of the survivors. We must love and take care of each other. Rick Love, one love to everybody out there. Fervent heat